Did President Donald Trump snub his VP? His second VP, by the way, because we remember what happened to the first.
Do you view Vice President J.D. Vance as your successor, the Republican nominee in 2028?
No, but he's very capable. I mean, I don't think that I think you have a lot of very capable people. So far, I think he's doing a fantastic job. It's too early. We're just starting.
But by the time you get to the midterms, he's going to be looking for an endorsement.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that this has been the greatest opening, almost 3 weeks, in the history of the presidency.
It's definitely been the fastest and the most stuff happening.
We've done so much so fast.
Yeah, look, a couple of things. I actually talked about this today as well on my channel. And the thing I didn't address that I just realized, it just struck me, is that not only is he betraying J.D. Vance, and J.D. Vance sold his soul, and all of the things I previously mentioned, what just dawned on me was J.D. Vance isn't ready for prime time. He doesn't think J.D. Vance is ready or able to be president of the United States. Otherwise, why would he pick him to be the vice president and then say, well, there's a tremendous number of very capable people out there, rather than, yeah, I picked the guy who is absolutely the best choice to be vice president. And by virtue of that, and according to the 25th Amendment, next in line to be president. It blows my mind.
That is hey, those are good points right there. But more, I was thinking more of like Trump just picked J.D. Vance out of like, this guy's going to be loyal to me. I got something on him. And so, the loyalty. But here's the funny thing, though, right? Oh, he's done a fantastic job. At what? Taking a back seat to Elon Musk?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a remarkable thing that we're witnessing in this second term. Obviously, Donald Trump demands fealty and loyalty, and that you bend the ring and you bend the knee and you kiss the ring, whether that be the one on his finger or the one between his ass cheeks. I don't know what he really prefers, but it is a strange thing to see a vice president, which is largely a ceremonial position historically anyway, give zero agenda, no marching orders. There's nothing in the portfolio of interest or action for J.D. Vance. It's just, hey, follow along and tweet support of Elon Musk, who effectively is the actual vice president of the United States.
Pretty much, or you could argue that he's the actual president at this point, because he's doing a lot of the work while Donald Trump is going around on the cable news circuit, over in right-wing media. But I don't know, So again, the question is it really is this a snub, or is there something darker at play? Because that's the other thought that I have, is there is that talk that Donald Trump's not going to leave. All right, you're going to go for a third term.
Yeah, well, it's certainly interesting that when given the chance to talk about, because Bret Baier was desperate for him to stay on topic, as all of these people are. They really give him every opportunity to lead him to water, and the horse just ain't going to drink. It's, hey, well, in the midterms, midterms are going to be coming up real quick, and J.D. Vance is going to want an endorsement to try to put together a campaign apparatus, to try to get together a funding apparatus to run for president. And Donald Trump, rather than just address it at all, says, I've done tremendous, so good, I'm so good. So I don't know. I think that Donald Trump acted out of some strategery, to pull a George W. Bushism, and or actually, I think that's Will Ferrell making fun of something he didn't actually say. But I don't think it's something darker in the mind of Donald Trump. If anything, it's like the Project 2025 dum-dums have given him ideas about who could be next, and he doesn't want to step on those toes. I think that's very, very likely. I don't know if I would call that something darker or a strategy move, but certainly there's somebody in his mind when he doesn't want to overtly endorse J.D. Vance to be the next president.
Well, certainly it'd be darker for the country, whoever is on his mind. That said, it does kind of remind me of, like, the Democrats, they did not give Kamala Harris nearly enough time to run a campaign. Okay. Yeah. And so Joe Biden, refused to step down for a very long time. Okay. And hand over, the reins to Kamala Harris. And obviously, I do believe that had a quite a negative impact on her campaign. Okay. Because she didn't have enough time. And then, of course, you bring in the consultants and things like that. They were doing very, very well for what little time they had, especially after the Tim Walz pick, which I thought was fantastic. And I'll go to bat for him any day. Okay.
Sure.
Excellent choice. Just calling Republicans weird, going on that. And that's actually when their numbers were really far up. But so, they did the best with the time that they had, but they did not have a lot of time. Trump
let me mildly push back. They did as well as they could with the moment that they had until they started giving primetime speaking slots to Republican and trying to run as a Republican light party. Look, there's a myriad reasons why Donald Trump won and then Kamala Harris lost. It's not one particular thing, but I know I was at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Brittany Page and I were, and I was furious that so many primetime prominent spots were given to Republicans. Yeah. And they were trying to appeal to so many Republicans rather than appeal to Democrats. So that's the only mild, maybe I agree, but
that's not even a mild pushback because I 100% agreed with that. So I guess I just phrased it poorly. They start
to your point though, absolutely. There is a ramp. There's an on-ramp time that needs to be given to a candidate to be president of the United States. I mean, after all, Donald Trump announced his re-election bid days after he won the election in 2016. So it's right. You do need that much time, and he's clearly not in it to give JD Vance enough time to win.
Yeah, and that just leads me to another question, right? And maybe it's too soon to ask, but we are doing some speculation here. I mean, where does the party go without Donald Trump? When Donald Trump is gone, because he's 78 years old and a double cheeseburger away from a Simpsons prophecy, okay, from fulfilling that. All right. Yeah. So, where do they go? I mean, he's already cucked the Republican Party to a point where I think that there's going to be a serious crisis once he is gone, one way or the other, whether or not, it's going out feet first or stepping down, at the end of his second term, like we hope he will do. What's going to happen? Who's going to take over that mantle? And I have no idea.
Yeah, the Republican Party has really boxed themselves in, and I think they know, the party insiders and leadership, they know they've absolutely screwed themselves because of the fact that they've surrendered even long-held ideologies in politics to whatever the whims of Donald Trump are. The Greenland thing and Panama and Canada being the 51st state. These are not serious policy proposals or ideas that would have been put forward by anyone except for the Big Mac sauce addled brain of Donald Trump. So there really is nobody. I've talked about Donald Trump is certainly not. I don't think he's going to survive this term. He's going to die. And I don't mean at the hands of some steely-eyed assassin. I mean at the hands of his own shitty diet and just terribleness. He's not long for the world. So I think the country will be better with a President JD Vance than a Donald Trump, only because you're going to have Donald Trump commands the minds of the cult. Mm-hmm. And when he dies, the cult dies with it. They're not going to all of a sudden say, unless Donald Trump Jr. starts, putting down the mirror aligned with his drug of choice. The cult's going to die, and JD Vance doesn't have the wherewithal or the star power or the cult of personality to pick up that mantle and be a wily Svengali-like holder of their attention. They're going to look elsewhere.
Right. And, look, those are all a bunch of great points. I agree in the fact that JD Vance, I mean, once Donald Trump is gone, you're right. There's going to be nobody to hold that coalition together. And so it is being held together by a sheer force of personality. Okay. Mm. And you're right. It is the cult. But I want to go to the other side for a second here. Okay. We know that the Republicans, they're probably going to fall apart after Trump. But what about the Democrats? Does that gives them an opening, right? But I am concerned that the Democrats might not be able to get their shit together and actually field a progressive candidate that can bring back the working class, working people of all colors, by the way, back into the party. So, how are they going to, appeal to working class Latinos and working class white people and working class black people, everybody who works for a living and is expecting the government to do something to help take that power away from the billionaire class that has basically taken our political system hostage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Elon Musk giving $250 million and basically buying his way into office. What are the Democrats going to do? And, where is the Democratic leadership? I mean, I don't see any to speak of. In fact, I want to show you here real quick a video of House, was the House Minority Leader, Hakeem Jeffries.
I'm trying to figure out what leverage we actually have. What leverage do we have? They control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. It's their government. What leverage do we have?
Jesse, what leverage do we have?
Yeah. Well, look, earlier you were postulating a question of what should we do, or what will they do? What should we do? Those are two entirely separate questions. Yeah. What should they do? I can answer unequivocally. I don't know what they're due, but if past performance is indicative of future results, they're likely going to try to appeal to a center-right or center audience to try to get elected, when all of the data relative to elections across the country in disparate congressional districts all across the country shows that progressive policies are popular even among Republicans. Mm-hmm. If you call them progressive policies, they poo-poo it because that word is so associated with AOC and Katie Porter, Jasmine Crockett, and so many others who do good work in for the country. But Medicare for all and all of these other policies, people hate our healthcare system. Even Republicans hate our healthcare system. So what they will do, I don't know. What they should do is double down on class solidarity and convince the American people that our economic standpoint, the way forward is using the government to better the lives of people, is giving people the opportunity, giving people the bootstraps to pull themselves up by through social programs, through entitlement programs, through policies and tax policy that actually gives people the leg up, instead of Elon Musk giving him the fucking leg up. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I can speak like an adult here, but and that's what they're doing. Democrats, look, you got Nancy Pelosi, God bless her, but there's not a stock trade she hasn't just salivated over. We need to get away from the old way of doing politics with our gerontocracy, with our septuagenarians and octogenarian members of Congress, our cancer victims. And I'm a former cancer patient, survived cancer 2 years ago. So I can talk about my people. And Jerry Connolly, look, man, I don't know what we're doing here. We have vital, talented, passionate people like AOC and others in the party who want to take the mantle, who are champing at the bit for leadership. And instead, what do? We allow these septuagenarians to languish in the former way of doing things. My good friend across the aisle. Yeah. In that same clip that you just played from Hakeem Jeffries, he also talks about we need to find common ground and work with Republicans where we can. No, the fuck we don't. No, we don't. If you want to be the minority party, be the minority party. If you want to be the opposition party, it's a whole different thing entirely. And I'm on the other side of that. I think we should be the opposition.
Yeah. Republicans have already shown us what an opposition party looks like.
Yes.
With their unprecedented obstruction that they had under Mitch McConnell. And so, when you say that there's really nothing that we can do, well, it's funny because they said that when they had the majority, slim majority, sure. They had the majority. Oh, there's nothing we can do. The parliamentarian. So we can't, raise her wages. Oh, we can't do this. We can't do that.
That, my friend, is a fantastic point. Is when the roles are reversed, you don't hear Mitch McConnell saying, "Oh, I'm in the minority. What leverage do I have?"
Right.
You didn't hear Kevin McCarthy as the minority leader say, "Oh, well, Democrats have this strong mandate from the people." They didn't do that. They obstructed, they delayed, and they denied progress. And Democrats, for the sake of decency or whatever, just laid down and took it.
And look, to be absolutely fair, because we're fair on this. It is easier to destroy and block and obstruct than it is to build things, right?
Sure.
And a lot of what Democrats want to do, again, to be super fair, is building programs that help people, right? And so, having policies passed that help average working people. Republicans don't want that. And it's for them, it is easy, very easy to block. But now the roles are reversed and Republicans have the levers of power that they're using to destroy. You should have a strong Democratic Party that says, no, we're not going to let you roll over us. We're going to exercise every single ability that we have as the minority party to fight back against this Trump Musk takeover tech bro fascist oligarchy that we are stuck in.
Yeah, I think AOC said it pretty poignantly last night on the Capitol Plaza to Manu Raja from CNN, where she's like, look, this is what we do. This is how we resist this. So we absolutely do have leverage. And she explained what we should do. But the problem for me with it is that, like, I have no problem shutting down this government because this government is damaging. It's dangerous. It is broken. And if we can stop that, look, I'm not one of those Democrats that let's find common ground where we can and we can agree. But look, I hope Donald Trump wins because if he's successful, the country's successful. No, it's not. If Donald Trump's agenda is successful, Americans will be hurt. Yep. The richest 1% of all of us will just languish in more wealth. They will turn their giant pile of money into an even larger pile of money, while people in the middle class, the working poor, they will get absolutely screwed. So I'm here to slow and stop every single win for Donald Trump because none of it is good for the country. Absolutely.
But just one final point here. So I think we can both agree that what we're seeing here with that lack of an endorsement for J.D. Vance and the lack of leadership on the Democratic side is that we have a crisis in both parties, a crisis of leadership, a crisis of faith in the political parties. And that's not good. And so post-Trump, this crisis is only going to, in my opinion, get worse.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree until Democrats lose the old way of dealing with these things and start actually fighting back and not, wasting so much time trying to find common ground.
That's right. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.